Okay, here is some of the challenges. Now I did take that 6-foot level, put it both directions, every single room. Every room is within the bubble levels. This upstairs converted porch is a little off, but not bad. So the only spots that are a real problem are these bays that have the slope. So I don't know, you probably can't see from a video the visual of it sloping down. But I'm going to step on the, okay, so that's the height of the drop. And then the other bay has just about the same amount. Matter of fact, over here you can actually see right exactly where the slump starts because the flooring has, a little break. Really a big deal, but downstairs you can see a lot of light. You can see how much wood is left in order to refinish floors. And then upstairs, I'll show you in a moment. Pretty dark, but you can't see it. Anyway, there's 3 times as much wood left to refinish. Now, as Julie mentioned, something like this room, if this was converted into a closet or a bathroom or something, all of this flooring could be reused somewhere else to patch walls and stuff. Here's an example of a wall, and then the flooring just goes up to it. So if you moved a wall, you just have to patch in flooring. Oh, since we're upstairs, there's spots where, looking through the plaster's been pulled, you can see outside. So there doesn't seem to be any sheathing. We are just looking at the outside siding, and so it really needs have these lathes pulled off, a little spray foam or other kind of insulation in there. Okay, we are downstairs, right underneath that upstairs front bedroom bathroom. You can see the plumbing for it. And then I'll just show you what's above this dropped ceiling. By the way, these wooden things, this has all been added. That's not original. That beam right there is hollow. It's just 3 pieces of wood. So it's not like that has to be saved for any historical coolness purposes. Well, you really can't tell too much just from this video. You wonder how their heating system worked. It's disconnected. Okay, we're entering into the kitchen. So out here is the finished wood floor with some patches. But in the kitchen is just, subfloor, old original floor. It's not the same height as that other stuff. So I called it subfloor, but maybe it's the original floor. Anyway, probably from about here back would need to get dug out to that doorway there. That's the areas that have the problem. There's a little rot there, it's only been I found. We're near a bathroom, so we're pretty far inside. So I don't think that's exterior. I think it's an interior problem. Back to the floors, yanking up this carpet, yanking up some of this flooring, and trying to dig this out from the top wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And yet we might find it's not even needed, and we do a lot of stuff, through walls and don't have to go underneath. Here's a example spot where it's just way too tight. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah. So I'll put my foot there. So it's that height. Here's my knee. So, you can just barely shimmy under there. And this looks like that new water line. I don't know if you can tell, somebody did dig themselves a little, crawl next to it type, pathway. There's a beam that's just not too far off the ground. Front part of the house has plastic down, but I don't care. But these floor joists are nice sized. Not to get too overly detailed, but he talked about turning the stairway, and so if you walk down the stairway, now see how that's been cut? There's nothing on the other side of this but some closety stuff. So about here, you could actually have that be a sloping thing like this one, and turn, so this would be gone, and you would walk down there. You could do even more exotic things, but anyway, look at that. Adorable. Right out of the 60s. Okay, we're in the attic. This is right about in the center of the house. That's that chimney. It goes down to the hallway and partially into the middle bedroom. Therefore, this is the back bedroom. So you can see some new wiring. That's just, tossed around. There's an old opening. I wonder if that used to be a chimney. And then when they re-roofed, it looks like they did put OSB down everywhere. So maybe a couple of spots I'm seeing the original, but I'm seeing OSB, which is good. And now if you can tell, but boy, is that kind of burnt and black up there with those rafters. So and the chimney, yeah, I guess you can see some black on the chimney. Excuse me. And the size of some of them rafters and beams, a few of them are just huge. Others are full 2x. Not the modern, really thin stuff. Okay, well, we're having quite a windstorm, so hopefully you can even hear me. Here you can see how that has sunk by the odd shape of the window. This is the front of the house under that bay, and this foundation part here isn't really supporting it anymore. There's new beams up front, so this part of the foundation that they brought outwards just didn't do the job. What we would end up doing is putting a taller board here, just covering this, and replace the beams underneath that they put to support it, and actually jack it up slowly. And then those new posts and beams just under the bays would actually be the permanent support, and this would basically end up just being a facade. So lots and lots of exterior paint failure, but it doesn't look like 10,000 coats of paint, like somebody previous actually took it to bare wood. I could be wrong. And then, well, either wasn't prepped or primed properly, or it's 40 years old. And without a vapor barrier, maybe that was part of it. There's this kind of stuff, just, you know, all the trim just needs caulking and love and time-consuming attention. You know, places like this. I don't know if I ever really showed you the porch. So, front door, nice porch. These things are just absolutely gorgeous. And somebody had the right idea. See that hook? See that hook? Hammock time. Hey, we're underneath the porch and right underneath the front door, going into the foyer from the crawl space. Let's tour the house from underneath. So there's like some electrical yellow right there. It's just tossed in. That's just hideous. Okay, I'm going to crawl forwards and go to the right, which will be underneath the front bay window. Okay, so you can see the foundation, you know, big old giant blocks, and they look pretty good. And then here's the jut out to the bay window system, and it's just not doing the job. And that's why that whole bay window thing slumped. So somebody else has put some temporary, or, you know, quasi-permanent. They tried, but we'll want to just redo the supports so that this bay window system is just completely permanently supported, post and beam under here, and that foundation just fill up them cracks with some mortar, and it just is visual, so it looks like the old-fashioned foundation, but it won't actually be doing anything. Same with on the other side of the other bay window. Here's a quick example of why pretty much 100% of the electrical just needs to be redone. Here's some new that's just laying, and then here's some old, and who knows how much that's around, and if it's live, if it's dead. So, you know, but these floor joists, man, they are gorgeous, old growth, really thick. So it's a sturdy old house. Farther back that way, eventually those heating ducts just completely block your access. It just gets thinner and thinner the farther back you go, till you could continue to crawl, but the heating ducts block you. That's the tour of the Alonzo Brown Underground.